It is Monday, December 2nd. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by Jet Home Loans. And now, a guy who was prepared to throw down yesterday, but not as much as he threw down Thursday at Boselli's, J.P. Shadrick.
I would have taken out Mark Vandermeer. He would have been the first one down. Welcome in. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick with you. Busy 2 hours ahead in the aftermath of the loss to the Texans. 23-20, the final score. Trevor Lawrence in concussion protocol. Walker Little extended. Jaguars will officially be fully eliminated with a Broncos win tonight. The Keeping It Real segment, of course, coming up. Fanatics fan questions around the NFL. The Jaguars have been eliminated from division title contention after yesterday's loss. Plenty to get to, but Trevor Lawrence in the protocol is priority number one. He's also dealing with a left shoulder issue. 5 games to play. Let's hear from head coach Doug Peterson today on the possibility of shutting him down for the season.
You still want to send, a positive, good message to your team that we're still fighting, to the end. Still got 5 games on the schedule. Obviously, we'll see, but we got to be smart too for his long-term health as well.
So he also said today that they'll see what happens when he comes out of the protocol, reassess, see where the team is. That's Doug Peterson earlier today. Hall of Fame left tackle Tony Boselli with me here in the Hyundai Studios, and senior writer for CBS Sports, Pete Prisco, down in South Florida. Good afternoon, Pete. Let's start with you. How are you?
What's up, guys? Boy, that was bad yesterday. That was a bad scene, bad hit, dirty hit, flagrant hit. I thought the team responded when it happened and probably could have even responded a little bit more. But, again, you never like to see that, ever, in a game. And, it was when the elbow comes up and goes to the head, that's a dirty hit. And he's had some dirty hits in his past, too. So there's a suspension coming. I think his statement that he sent out, he's trying to get ahead of that a little bit. But it was brutal to see. And I was watching. I can't imagine what you guys saw when you saw it live, because I was watching it on TV, but it looked awful.
Yeah, it was. You could see it coming as far as where Al Shazier was and how Trevor was going. I was like, get down, because I was worried about his shoulder more than anything else.
Right. He's out there running for the first time. I was like, wait a minute, he's got a bad shoulder.
Yeah, get down. And so he starts getting down, and just all of a sudden, Al Shazier just takes
Al Shair.
Give him about 4 more tries. He'll get it right.
Al Shair.
He's public enemy number 1. You should know it by now.
Sorry. Al Shair took the forearm right to the head, and that wasn't what gave him the concussion. It's his head bouncing off the turf with the force of all of Al Shair coming through him. And that right there, you knew it was bad when you saw it. And you saw his arms freeze, which is the telltale sign of a severe concussion. It was a cheap shot. We see it every week in the NFL. I don't care. Maybe it was a little bit of a late slide, but we see late slides like that all the time. And the defender, what they do is they end up going over the top of them. And maybe there's slight contact, incidental, and everyone understands it because it was a little bit of a late slide, and the defender goes over the top and it's over. But he was purposeful.
Or they hit him and it's a foul.
But
even trying to slide over him, if you hit him, it's a foul.
I understand that, but they're trying to get out of the way. I don't care what his statement is. You watch the tape, he was leading with the forearm through Trevor.
Yep.
Right. That's a dirty play. The forearm comes up like that, that's a dirty play.
Dirty play. Pete, you said something I thought that was interesting. You liked the initial response, but you thought there could be more. Before I tell you what I believe, I want to hear what you think more could have been done.
Yeah, I have questions.
Well, I don't mind the initial stuff. You got to defend your quarterback. I thought Evan Ingram did a great job. I thought, when they started carrying it on a little bit, I thought the Jaguars did a great job. I'm talking about in the second half. You got to you got to go back in there and show some of your physical play, and maybe push the envelope a little bit to show, look, you got our quarterback. We're not going to take this crap from you. And Tony, look, I'm going to be honest with you. And even dating back to when you guys played, the reputation of the Jaguars was that you were a tad soft. You remember the Titans? I mean, I don't want to say it like the movie, but the Titans always came in like they were the tougher team than you were. And there were times, and I remember you were not in this game back in the day. You were not in the game. You were hurt, I think. But I think it was Scott Sanderson. Do you remember him? Played for the Titans. He was an offensive guard. And one of your guys, I can't remember who it was, busted through, and he came from behind and chopped them from behind with one of the most illegal blocks you'll ever see. And I think he sent him to the side. I can't remember who it was. And there was no retaliation. And I said something, I think, even to you after the game, because you weren't in the game, and knowing you the way you were, you probably would have retaliated. But I don't think there was enough of that in the second half yesterday. I'm not saying go out and physically hurt somebody, because nobody wants to see anybody hurt in a game. Nobody wants to see, that kind of dirty hit like he had. But I think there's moments where you have to show that you're not going to be pushed around, and you won't allow your quarterback to be hit like that.
Yeah, I would disagree with your description of the teams in the 90s. I mean, I thought if you go back, anytime anyone got illegally or stretched the play to hit Mark Brunell or any of our skill guys, there was usually a fight happening. So I would disagree.
But do you remember that play?
I don't.
Sanderson play? I don't think you were in the game. I don't think you were in that game.
I don't. So I would disagree with your description there. I thought the response by Evan Ingram and the guys right when it happened was fine. Great. That's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
I mean, the only thing I would have wished, like they would have jumped up, like just not let him get up and just bury his head in the turf with multiple forearms to the back of his head.
Okay.
But
they kind of did. They got him on the ground over there on the sideline. What else are they supposed to do? I mean,
I mean, they could have. I don't know. But I thought the response was perfect. I really did. I thought Evan Ingram didn't hesitate. I have no issues if they all would have got kicked out of the game for beating and fighting the whole Texan sidelines after what was happening. I'd have been fine. Like at some point, you have to police the game yourself during it. And I know the game has changed. But at the same time, you just can't allow that to happen. And I thought the team responded. And as far as could they have done more?
Not in the moment. I'm just saying in the second half. You might have been able to blast somebody right maybe a second after the whistle or whatever. Just get a message sent a little bit. We're not going to tolerate that. And so be it if you got a 15-yard flag. You got it. Sometimes the end result for the long term is better than what would happen in the moment. That's what I'm saying.
And at what point, though, if that were to happen, Pete, do they get labeled as an undisciplined team for going back?
No, not in this case.
Anybody knows that has ever played football, and Tony knows that will tell you if something like that happens, at some point there's usually an eye for an eye.
Okay.
And I'm not saying go at C.J. Stroud's knees or anything stupid or ignorant like that. What I'm saying is get a shot in. At the end, receiver goes across the middle, and the ball goes through his arms. Get a shot, good shot, blast him. And maybe you get a 15-yard penalty. But you're sending that message back. What you do to our guy, we just got one back. And that's the message you send right there.
Pete, I know what you're saying, and I understand it. I think, and you got to be careful here, because there is a line. Like I was never, like I'd go after guys. Like remember Jesse Armstead from the Giants, Pete?
Yes.
He hit Mark low during the preseason, knocked Mark out for the first 3 weeks of the season.
I remember it.
And we played them week 2. And we purposely were going to go after him. And we made it known. And from the first play to the last play, if whoever offense lineman was getting next level, you went and found them, and you just beat the hell out of them. And there was multiple times, like the whistles blow, you're still blocking them, trying to throw him on the ground, hit him in the head. With that said, I would not go at his knees.
No.
Because I'm not trying to end his career.
Right. So you're not taking away somebody's livelihood.
I'm not going to do that. As bad as what I thought Al-Shire did, like going after his knees or going after C.J. Stroud's knees or something like that, that's just, I don't like that. With that said, I would have been okay. I would have been okay if Trayvon or Josh maybe took 3 steps after the ball was thrown.
Got one in.
And hit him right in the back of the head.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
I would have been like, okay. 15-yarder. Okay. There was a play down the sideline when C.J. Stroud was getting ready to run out of bounds and Trayvon, which he did the right thing.
He let up.
He did the right thing.
He could have blasted him on the sideline there. Yeah.
Because if he hits him there, I'm not sure you finish the game.
Right. So that's what also Doug Peterson said, that the referee said 0 tolerance from here on out. Anything else happens,
so what?
Close to that, they're probably getting run out of the game.
But there's 0 tolerance usually in a game anyways for that stuff. So what's the difference?
So I understand what Pete's saying, but I was okay with them not doing that either. I don't think it showed a lack of toughness or caring or having Trevor's back.
No, it doesn't show a lack of caring or not having his back or any of that.
I don't think so.
What it shows is that you're not going to take it.
That's right. And I thought they sent that message very clearly.
Throwing down the quarterback, even in the pocket, grabbing him and throwing him down after the whistle. You know, which like 9 times out of 10 it's probably not going to hurt a guy. Throw him down after the whistle. Just show, look, you got ours. Well, here, we're getting yours. We're not going for his knees. We're not trying to get his shoulder, his arm, or anything. We're just sending a message back to you just to remind you that we're not going to take the crap.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I think back is I wouldn't mind a couple kind of situations like, all right, we're all out blitzing and hit him. I don't care. Hit him. Hit him as hard as you can. We're going to play man on the back end. We'll take some chances, but just hit him as hard as you can. That would have been okay. But I was thinking, because we said it on the air when Trayvon pulled up. Jeff and I both said it. It's man, part of me wanted him to knock him out. But Trayvon did the right thing.
Yeah.
Trayvon did the right thing.
Yeah, he did. He did, but there are other ways to do it.
There's other ways to do it because
Trayvon
would have killed him.
Yeah.
No, he would have killed him.
Yeah.
I mean, as big as Al-Shire is a big man, but he's not Trayvon. I mean, Trayvon Walker would kill him.
No, but you talk about trying to injure somebody. If Al-Shire had done that to Tua, that would have been a guy going to try and injure somebody without question, right? That's a difference. Yeah. Going at knees, going at somebody's knees, you can't do that. That's because you, just like you said, you're taking away their livelihood. Going at a head for a guy like Tua or somebody who's had a bunch of concussions, that's the same thing. You know, Trevor hasn't been he had a concussion before?
Last year, yep. Had one in college too, apparently,
so
early.
That's concerning. So, yeah, look, what did Jerry and Jones do?
He threw a punch.
Yeah.
At Al-Shire?
Yeah, I believe so.
Probably.
I didn't, because I tried to watch it on the sideline. I couldn't see it. But if he did, kudos to him.
Pete, I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't know if we've told the story on there or not. It was I think it was 97. We're playing the Ravens here at 4:00 game, and they had a safety, Benny Blades, who was kind of a journeyman safety, great special teams player.
Not a journeyman safety. He was you're talking about, Benny Thompson.
Benny Thompson, sorry, not Benny Blades.
Benny Blades was a good player.
Very good safety.
Really
Thank you, Pete. Benny Thompson. Great special teams player, kind of middle of the road safety, journeyman.
Hit like a tank.
But today he'd be a middle linebacker in today's game.
Correct.
He played safety, strong safety. And it's a tight game back and forth. And he was absolutely just tattooing our receivers. I mean, just tattooing them. And this is back in the day when you could, and we're throwing across the middle because we're behind. So we go in late and score. Keaton catches the ball for a touchdown, take the lead. And Benny Thompson just absolutely hammers him in the end zone. And so I take about a 10-yard run and just forearm him in the side of the head as hard as I could, and a melee breaks out. I mean, just a melee. And it's in the north end zone in the corner up against the wall. And it's just punches being thrown, officials trying to break it up. I mean, just chaos. And Pete Mitchell and Ben Coleman were trying to get in there to break it up, and I lose my mind. There's no telling what I'm just. It's nuts. And I actually got thrown out of the game. I'm going to tell a story about how I ended up. I got thrown out of the game, but they allowed me back in the game, and that's a whole different story. And I got fined. Good amount. And I'd pay that many every day of the week, twice on Sunday. Because that's my job. I'm not going to let a guy just take cheap shots at my skill players. Quarterback, receivers, running backs. Now, if it's clean hits, that's football. But this was too far. This was in the end zone. The play's over, and he just hammered him. And Pete and Benny got fined too. And I said, listen, I got you into this mess.
Good.
Appeal it. See if we can get it a little bit less. But that's what you're supposed to do. What Evan Ingram, and I love it, it was like instinctual for him.
It was.
He didn't even hesitate.
No.
Brandon Sheriff running down the field.
Yeah, took his helmet off. Hey,
and said,
let's go.
You want to go? Let's go.
Yeah.
I love that.
Brian Thomas, too.
Oh, but they're all. I'm not saying anyone was bad.
No, but Brian Thomas carried that over. He was trying to get at him.
Oh yeah,
that's a great look for a rookie wide receiver. I love that.
I love it because that's what you're supposed to do. And we're showing it right now, and everyone's like, well, "This is not part of the game. It's ugly." Okay, it's a violent game.
It is.
It's a tough game. Sometimes you have to take matters in your own hands. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying it's a good look. But the reality is you had a guy who took a shot at your franchise quarterback. And you can't just stand there and do nothing.
Why is Brandon Sheriff's been in the league for so long? Why the hell would you take your helmet off? He knows better.
Because Shire had taken his off. So yeah, it was the best thing ever. So he's like, all right, you want to take helmets off? Let's go.
Something else, man.
It was crazy.
I will say this, though. This bothers me a little bit, what we're seeing here. Don't throw things. Don't throw things. You're not part of it. Crowd.
Agreed.
Do not.
Yeah.
Well, it's dangerous. And it's dangerous.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. You're not part of it. This happened on the field. It's between people on the field, and it's a game of football, and they're paid to play the game of football. Dirty things happen sometimes. They deal with it. You don't need to be throwing things from the crowd. That to me was the worst part of it, and it went over the line. So that was the part that bothered me.
So Pete, I think you and I are in agreement. I'm not saying they couldn't have done something in the second half, maybe take a shot at CJ, but I don't think I thought they represented themselves fine, and they handled it fine.
What was Bucky Brooks talking about today when he put that out there? Did you see what he said
about the code? I didn't see this.
He said that coming out of halftime too. By the way, he was talking about
But I think he was referring to maybe taking a shot, doing a little bit more,
like we were talking about.
I also think I read, and I don't want to. And JP, I think maybe you can help me here. Mm-hmm. That there were guys, and I don't know who they were, that were talking about they didn't want to respond because they didn't want to get fined.
Okay.
And Bucky had a problem with that, is how I read that as well. I thought that's what he was referring to.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not responding because you're going to get fined, look, 9 times out of 10, somebody else will pay the fine anyways in that scenario.
This is like, who cares? At some point, it's more like the game and the locker room and the men and the code of how you play the game is more important than if you get fined or not. It just is.
We've got plenty ahead. We'll come back around to this, certainly, because it is the topic of the day, but we've got to get to what's left for the Jaguars as well. 5 games to go. We'll come back in a moment. We'll get to the defensive performance, which actually was okay early in the game. Settled for some field goals.
Another 100-yard rusher, though.
I know. Last play of the game, too.
Doesn't matter. Well, that was the most important play of the game.
I know. 3rd down.
3rd and 5.
We'll get to that coming up. Also on offense, Mac Jones in
Played
the
better.
second half. We'll break
Played
all that
better.
down. Second hour coming up.
I want to hear what Pete thinks about Mac Jones.
Yes,
game.
I do too.
He's very
actually.
critical of Mac.
He certainly was. Jags fans want customized Jags furniture for your home? Check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. ZipChair, furniture for fans. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loan.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job, but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way, from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
A quality replacement window made with Fibrex material, which is 2 times stronger than vinyl, delivered through a stress-free process. Welcome to Renewal by Andersen. Get the peace of mind knowing Renewal by Andersen handles everything from start to finish. With one call, you'll enjoy working with the best people, exclusive products, and superior process. It's the people, it's the process, it's the product. For a limited time, buy one, get one 40% off all windows and doors, plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Renewal by Andersen. A better way to a better window. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you ready to love how you feel, look, and live in every season? At Elace, we offer more than just luxury med spa treatments. We provide a serene, judgment-free space where you can reconnect with the best version of you. Whether you want to refresh your natural look with Botox or Dysport, pamper yourself with a relaxing hydrofacial, or rejuvenate your complexion with laser resurfacing, our expert team in Jacksonville is here to tailor treatments to your needs. Visit Elace.com today and start your journey to loving yourself.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium, because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Hey, Jags fans, stop dreaming of creating your game day fan cave and build the Jaguars den of your dreams with ZipChair. When it comes to maximum comfort, ZipChair.com is the only place for officially licensed Jaguars recliners, sofas, bar stools, office and gaming chairs, all featuring high-quality embroidered Jags logos. Crack open a few cold ones in the comfort of a Zip Chair and make your home the place to be on game day. Head over to ZipChair.com and save 20% today. Use code JagsRadio at checkout. ZipChair.com, furniture for fans.
I'll be handled when it's handled. I think everybody right now is just trying to get these next 5 weeks right, starting with this week up. I think you got to understand, like, this is a pretty good locker room in terms of focusing on the next play. Nobody's pointing fingers or stuff, I'm sorry. And, you know, I definitely had a lot of respect for the guys in the locker room, because you've heard about other teams and these type of situations kind of cave and start, it becomes a crapshoot, I would say. So everybody's kind of being professional about it, and we're researching, but we need to take ownership and get these things right.
Foye Alukin, Jaguars linebackers. Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans. JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Pete Prisco, day after a 23-20 loss to the Houston Texans. 5 games to go. The Jaguars eliminated from division title contention, but not officially eliminated from postseason contention.
Until Denver, if Denver wins tonight, they're gone.
Correct.
the New England Patriots have one more win than us, but I saw they were eliminated. How are they? Is it because we beat them or something?
Yes. Tiebreaker.
I don't understand.
Tiebreaker, yeah.
I mean, you need not worry about it, though. I mean, come on.
You don't think we're going, Pete?
No. In fact, we should start talking about the draft.
I don't think so. No, Pete.
No. We got rules, Pete.
The fans are calling for it.
I'm sure they are. They call for a lot of things, Pete.
They call a lot of things, Pete. Unfortunately, fans don't always get their wish, just like the rest of us.
No draft. No draft.
Pete, did you see? I sent you what we were referring to earlier about Bucky Brooks' comments on X. I think they were spot on, by the way. Mm-hmm. Bucky's great at what he does.
Love Bucky.
Yeah.
Love Bucky.
Outstanding football guy. And then we were listening to D'Amico Ryans.
During the break, apparently today, Pete.
His press conference today, and I have issues with D'Amico. He was basically trying to justify it that it was a late slide. And that it's not okay what happened. Everything. He hopes Trevor was okay,
and said that the Jaguars escalated it.
And then he got on and said our sideline didn't handle it right. And I wished I'd have been at that press conference. I'd have raised my hand. Hey, D'Amico, Tony Boselli from Jacksonville. If Trayvon Walker would have laid out C.J. Stroud on the sideline, would you have made sure all your guys stayed right where they were and not confronted Trayvon? Because we all know the answer. The place would have exploded.
Yep.
So not only that, D'Amico Ryans is a player.
He's a player. He knows better. Now, what he's trying to do, Pete, he's trying to protect his guy. They're in a playoff run, trying to keep the locker room.
Limit the suspension to a game.
That's exactly right, because they need him. They can't stop the run very well without him. So
they're not very good, by the way.
No, they're not. I think it's a one and done in the playoffs. C.J. Stroud has regressed.
The line has sped him up to the point where...
Pete, you nailed it. He's so sped up.
Yep. Doesn't allow anything to develop.
And then he misses things, too.
Yeah, which, like the throw to Tank Dell down the field, he never missed that.
Yep, he's very late.
And they are running the ball some, mixing over 100 again, but had to do it at the end of the game, but did it. And they're running enough.
You keep on saying he did at the end of the game.
The third down play was when he went over 100 yards.
You understand it still counts as 100 yards.
I'm not saying.
And they were still trying to stop him, JP.
I know.
You know that if they got a stop there, they might have got the ball back.
And guess
they were
what?
Still trying to stop him.
They ran left every time in that possession and kept going that way and still got it.
Yeah, they did. And one of the defenses, I think it was Monteric Brown, got caught inside on one of those runs.
That was the long run.
Yeah. So, look, bottom line is D'Amico Ryans is wrong, Tony. But what he's doing is right. And if you actually asked him that, he would say to you, "Yeah, you're right."
Oh, I guarantee you, if I talked to D'Amico privately,
he would tell you what he was doing. He would tell you, and you would do the same thing if you were the head coach.
You're trying to protect your guy. I get it.
Politics, man.
But I don't think he had to go the extra mile, like getting on our bench.
Yeah,
come on,
the
D'Amico.
Jaguars handled it wrong.
You know exactly if Trayvon would have laid out CJ when he had, it would have been a penalty. It's not part of the game. I'm glad Trayvon didn't do it. I don't want CJ to get hurt. He's a fun guy to watch. But if he had done it, the bench would have exploded. They'd have gone crazy. And
by the way, I don't think
knows
Jacksonville's bench was nearly as control as some benches would be. Would you agree with that?
No. Well, there was a lot of guys.
That's a compliment, by the way.
Yeah, there was a lot of guys in the peripheral that were just kind of not getting involved. But there was about 10, 15 guys that it was, AEW wrestling in there. I mean, they were going after the.
Trayvon Walker was in the middle.
Trayvon, yes.
He had no helmet on, which again, tell him put his helmet on.
I don't think he probably doesn't need one.
Who else was in there?
I mean, that's a big. Trayvon's a big man.
He is a big man.
He's a
Who
big
else
man.
was in there throwing stuff around?
Sheriff was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Saw him in there.
Evan, obviously, Jarian Jones was in Jarian Jones.
Where was the? I didn't see that. But did you see? Anybody see that? Where was he when he punched?
I saw him go in.
I'm guessing he's in the pile down there.
So I saw him go into the melee. Yeah. I didn't see the punch.
I like it though. You got a defensive back going in there like that. I like it.
Brian Thomas Jr. He's not afraid.
No, he was chasing him around. He tried to get it. Although Brian Thomas looked like he was doing one of those hold me back. Like, you know what I mean? He really didn't want to go in.
No, I don't think so. Knowing Brian Thomas, I don't know him well, but knowing him, I think that was legit. Like he
put
was
him over the edge.
I don't think Brian.
Yeah. But he was right next to Sheriff when he was doing it, though.
Well, he's smart.
He's not an idiot.
Yeah, right.
Smart guy.
But it's so unfortunate. I mean, it really, yesterday, I'm just watching that game, and I'm like, it is the same story every week. Outside of Buffalo and Detroit are getting blown out, start slow, get behind, scramble, make it a one-possession game, and either don't get the stop or don't
score.
Right.
That's what it is. Depending on who has the ball last.
I'm like, no, it doesn't matter if we have the ball or not last. Because if we have the ball last, we're not going to score. If they have the ball last, they're going to score.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
I mean, think about it. Think about this. The Eagles are like considered one of maybe the best team in the league right now. No. And Jacksonville had a wheel route to go win it, right? I mean, they could have beat them that time. And so you're right, Tony. Every game other than those two, Detroit and Buffalo, have come down to the end of the game. And slow starts. Why do they always start so slow?
It's amazing.
Pete, one of the things I think we should do, because we're going to be out of the playoffs here soon.
Probably by 11 tonight.
Probably.
By midnight tonight, maybe.
Yeah. Probably. I think, because I know as much as I don't want to do it, we're going to talk about the roster, we're going to talk about free agency, we're going to talk about the draft. I know it's coming. But I think it'd be interesting just to look at the overall roster and the makeup and the build of it. Because I got the question multiple times over the break, but really even today, was like, what happened? Like, how do we get here? Like, how do we become the worst team in the NFL? There's only 3 teams with 2 losses, I believe. It's the Giants, who are an absolute dumpster fire. Mm-hmm. It's the Raiders, who are...
They invented dumpster fire.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And us. Remember when everyone said the Carolina Panthers were
first?
We picked first. You remember when everyone was saying the Carolina Panthers are the worst team in the NFL? Mm. No, they're not.
And part of the reason why they're not, Tony?
Tell me.
What do you always talk about?
Big people.
You know what they did in the offseason?
They invested in big people.
Correct. And the left tackle, the 3rd-year guy, gotten much better.
He's gotten much better. He struggled.
He was bad. He was bad early in his career.
Pete, I'll say this. I remember watching him last year early. I did a national game, and then we played them late. And you saw him getting better last year.
And he's much better this year than he was last year. And the right tackle, Moton's always been a battler, almost like a Leon Searcy kind of bat. You know what I mean? Squatty, kind of tough guy. And so all of a sudden you look at their offensive line. They can run it. They're protecting him. I mean, they can do a lot of things because of their offensive line. That's the reason. And again, you can't. There's only so many of them. And by the way, we talk a lot about big people. There was a big guy on the field on the other side of the ball for Jacksonville that hadn't played much this year that actually did some things on Sunday. Mason Smith did some good things on Sunday.
I want to come back and talk about 2 guys, Pete. Stick on this theme. I want to talk about Walker Little, who signed a new deal. Mm-hmm. I want to get your opinion, Pete, of the deal.
Yeah, I watched the tape this morning, and I'll talk about the deal too.
Yeah, let's talk about the deal and his play. And then let's talk about Mason Smith, because I watched him as well. And he's a young guy, rookie, 2nd rounder, hasn't done much. Hasn't been on the field.
Hasn't been on the field.
Healthy scratch because of an ankle. Mm-hmm. Got his most extensive playing time yesterday. And let's talk about those 2 guys when we come back.
Let's do it. Sign up your furry friend for the Jaguars official four-legged fan club for pets presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital. Your pet will receive access to exclusive merchandise, events, and sweepstakes throughout the season. Visit jaguars.com/promotions/four-legged fan club and sign up today. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinder's home. How about 2.99% in year one in one of Dreamfinder's 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year one and a beautiful new Dreamfinder's home. Visit DFHSalesEvent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's DFHSalesEvent.com.
You love free, and at Ameris Bank, so do we. That's why we're proud to offer worry-free, hassle-free Ameris Bank free checking. Manage your money your way with convenient access to digital, mobile, and telephone banking, all with no monthly service fee or minimum balance requirements. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. For more information or to open an account, visit our local bankers in person or online at amerisbank.com/free checking. Other fees such as overdraft fees may apply. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Looking for the perfect place to host a business trip, corporate group, or social gathering? Look no further than the award-winning Sheraton Jacksonville Hotel, proudly part of the Marriott family of hotels. Centrally located next to the St. John's Town Center off Gate Parkway in JTB, they offer everything you need, whether you're hosting a meeting or just unwinding with friends at the BC Grill and Patio. Discover unmatched comfort and convenience. Visit SheratonJacksonville.com for exclusive game day special rates and book your stay today.
Jacksonville builders score big with DL Cabinetry. As the official cabinet supplier of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they offer top quality kitchen and bathroom cabinetry for any project. Enjoy fast turnaround, complimentary design, and great prices. Visit dlcabinetry.com today to learn more and to become a dealer. Limited spots available. DL Cabinetry, the winning choice for builders.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
You know, it's a play that nobody wants to see in our league, obviously. You know, because you see what happens, you know, after the fact, and it just escalates. And I've got a lot of respect for Coach Ryans, and I mean, I know he doesn't coach his team that way. We don't coach our team that way, and it's unfortunate. It really is. It's unfortunate, you know, and I'm just glad that you know, Trevor's going to be fine. He'll obviously be in the protocol, but you know, it's just an unfortunate play.
It's Doug Peterson after the game yesterday, the loss to the Texans 23-20. JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Pete Prisco, and Jaguars Happy Hour continues. Looking for the MVP of the truck game? Better check out the 2024 Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and game-changing tech, you can dominate work, play, and everything in between. Test drive an F-150 at your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Walker Little signing the extension before the game yesterday. Actually signed it yesterday and then walked across the street to the stadium and played the football game. And he'll be here, the extension for 3 years reportedly, and about $26 million guaranteed.
45 total, I believe.
Yeah,
15
like
a year,
that.
basically.
Yeah.
It really, if you think about it, really becomes a 2-year, $26 million deal.
Yeah.
So 13 a year.
That's guaranteed, Pete. Now, if he plays well, he's going to be underpaid very quickly, and you're going to have him for a deal.
But let's be real. The guy's never really won a job.
Pete, you took my thunder. So here's my thoughts about this. I've been thinking about it, got a ton of questions. And I want to start by, I am so happy for Walker Little. As a player, I love when guys get paid. It's a tough game. And I'm sure Walker, like me and everyone else, almost everyone I know who played the game, this is what you wanted to do your whole life. And now to get paid the amount that he's going to be paid that can really take care of his family and like probably generationally, it's great. It is so cool for him. So I'm so excited for him. And I actually have no issue with the deal length, amount, or anything. If you think about starting tackles and having a starting tackle in the NFL today.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
Well, it's less money than what Cam Robinson got from him.
It is. And if you look at the free agent market this year, PFF has him as the the fourth rated tackle that's in the free agent market coming up.
So you're a PFF guy now.
No, I just heard that.
Okay.
And Pete and I have talked about it a lot on the show that offensive line play, there's only so many guys who are starting caliber at that position. So I imagine there was going to be a market if he got the free agency. So I'm not saying you should have waited till that. I thought the timing was interesting. From the standpoint, what was the hurry to do it now when you basically had a free 6 week look? And maybe you don't take all 6. Maybe you take 3 of them. Because Pete's right. Walker Little has never won the job here. He was given multiple opportunities to win the job. He never won the job. To the point, they weren't confident enough that he could be the starting right tackle. They went and spent a first rounder when they had Cam on the roster at left. And Walker Little was under contract. They didn't think he was good enough to be the starting right tackle. Because the year before, he couldn't beat out Jawan Taylor. And so they drafted Anton Harrison. He has started here because of injury or suspension or because the starter got traded. And now you have this look for, it's been 2 weeks. This is the 3rd week. You have 5 more after this. And I thought they'd wait a little bit longer. With that said, it makes sense, though, because if we went through this, I think it was last week or the week before they did this deal, they had Anton Harrison and Ezra Cleveland. You had no left tackle under contract. Mm-hmm. Your center and right guard are going their 11th year. You don't know what they're going to do. And you have
the center, by the way, wasn't very good on Sunday.
And you have no real backups to be developed. Unless you feel like Luke Fortner is all of a sudden going to flip a switch and become tremendously better. So what they've done by making this, having signed Walker Little, they now have a spot filled. So when you go into free agency and draft next year, you can focus on the interior more of the offensive line and defensive line. Because I'm still saying big people is critical. So from that standpoint, it makes all the sense in the world. The value, I think, is fair. And then what really made me happy is Walker Little went out and played a great game. He was really good on Sunday. Against 2 really good pass rushers.
He was good on Sunday. Really good.
And he was good in the run game. He was good in the pass game.
He got beaten on one inside
move. He got beat one time by Will Anderson on a quick inside move. Thankfully, the ball was gone. Did not matter. As I said it on this morning, and I've said it multiple times, one of the worst things that's ever happened is all these people grading stuff and social media, putting videos up, because a guy gets beat for 1 sack and they think he's a bum. And I just want to remind everyone listening, Walker Little and Anton Harrison will get beat for sacks. That's going to happen. They're going to give up pressures. Everybody does. Penei Sewell. Trent Williams. Lane Johnson. The best tackles in this game give up pressures. They get beat at times. It's the NFL. Everybody does. I did. Anthony Munoz did. Everybody does. So you can't judge a player based on one play. So he got beat inside. No. Okay, whatever. Yeah. He was physical.
He played well.
He was physical in the run game, and he had outstanding sets, and he handled 2 really good pass rushers.
Okay. And I'm gonna agree with you, Tony, on that. He was really good on Sunday. And I'm gonna agree with you that the deal is fair. But you can also spin it the other way. And you say you're paying essentially a backup, because that's what he's been, starter money.
Pete, and that's why I thought the timing was interesting. Let him put together 3 more games, and then with two or three games left, go get the deal done.
Right, and he even said he was surprised about it. Yeah. And here's a team, by the way, that always says they don't do deals during the season.
Well, that's what we were told last year with Josh Hines-Allen, why it didn't get done.
And if they had done the deal during the season, they would have saved some money by doing the deal during the season.
I think they would have saved significant money if they would have done it.
So now you can look at it from that standpoint. They didn't do it with Josh Hines-Allen, and it cost them a boatload of money. So ultimately, that was a mistake. And now you're rushing to give a guy who has 22 starts as a backup starter money. That's quality starter money. That's not great starter money.
But it's quality starter money.
So it makes and by the way, who did the deal? Who did the deal? Who rushed to do the deal? I know my theory on it.
I don't know. I assume Trent because he's the GM. So I assume Trent Baalke.
And if you're Trent and you drafted him, doesn't that make you look better if you're rewarding a guy you drafted that contract?
I'm not going to speculate on the.
I'm speculating because I like to speculate.
Sounds like you are.
You can speculate. I'm not going to get into that. I will say this. I agree with Pete on the timing. I thought it was curious. I was shocked because I thought it was a policy of Trent Baalke that he does not negotiate deals during the season with players. I have no problem with negotiating or not negotiating. I have no real strong opinion either way. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that's what was stated, and so that surprised me. But I'll say this. Pete's right, $15 million, quality starter. I actually think Walker Little will be a quality long-term starter. I think in the middle of year 2 of this deal, we're going to look around and say, man, we got a good deal.
But again, why not wait until the end of the season?
I agree with that, Pete. The timing, I don't understand.
By next week, you might change your tune.
I don't think I will, but I know what you're saying. You've had bad game.
Football left.
A lot of football. I don't know why the rush.
That's why I come into play and throw out my theories out there. Here's the other part of that equation, Tony. If Trent did the deal, does that mean he's staying?
Well, let's talk about Mason Smith in that next segment because we're out of time.
We'll come back in a moment. We got to get to Mason Smith finally out there playing defense. We got a whole other hour, too, by the way, Tony.
Got a lot going on here.
Can't get away forever.
Got a lot.
A lot happening.
A lot happening.
For a 2-10 football team.
Just bad football.
Bad.
Just bad.
So bad. Plenty ahead. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job, but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Hey, Jags fans, stop dreaming of creating your game day fan cave and build the Jaguars den of your dreams with ZipChair. When it comes to maximum comfort, ZipChair.com is the only place for officially licensed Jaguars recliners, sofas, bar stools, office and gaming chairs, all featuring high-quality embroidered Jags logos. Crack open a few cold ones in the comfort of a ZipChair and make your home the place to be on game day. Head over to ZipChair.com and save 20% today. Use code JagsRadio at checkout. ZipChair.com, furniture for fans.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's the final days of the Black Friday sales event at your local Ford dealer. Don't miss great offers on new inventory arriving daily. Now's the time to take home the legendary Ford F-150, the truck at the top of everyone's list. Or Ford Expedition, an SUV with room for all your passengers and presents. And if you're ready for big holiday thrills, unwrap the Built Wild Bronco SUV. But hurry, offers end December 2nd. Get holiday ready during the final days of the Black Friday sales event at your local Ford dealer.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. A high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense. A rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips, delicious sub platters with ice-cold beverages, and you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Super excited about it. I love Jacksonville. I love this team. I love the group of guys. I love the people I get to come to work with every day. Really love the city. So always wanted to stay here. Obviously going into a contract year this year, didn't know if it would happen or not, but I was really glad we were able to work something out, and I'm going to be able to be here for a few more years.
Walker Little with the media today on a Zoom call. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, final minutes of the first hour, presented by Jet Home Loans. JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Pete Prisco. Pro Bowl voting and tickets are now live. Be sure to cast your vote for which Jaguars players you'd like to see there and secure your seat to the NFL's biggest stars in Orlando this February. Jaguars.com/Pro Bowl. All right, final few minutes here. And Mason Smith active and playing. That was the big change, one of the changes on defense, I suppose, yesterday. But the rookie out of LSU, how'd he go?
Listen, he's a big, powerful dude. And he's not moved easily. He works down the line of scrimmage well. He uses his hands well. He has the ability to push the pocket. I'm not saying that was the best part of his game yesterday, but he is – I can see what they love about him and the potential there. The question is, can he put it together week in, week out, and can he mature to learn to be a pro? Because if he can, has a chance to be a heck of a player. I mean, he has the tools.
That's a powerful man.
Very powerful, and he did some really nice things in the game.
I was impressed. Watching the tape, I came away impressed. I look. Does he have the tools to disengage yet? Probably not. You know, the hands and all that. But, man, Tony, he got into some of those guys and pushed them around. And those are – I mean, it was some powerful guys he was pushing around. And that one play I put out on Twitter in the run game, that was, I think, Titus Howard.
It was the right tackle.
Yeah. And he just mauled them and came down the line. And there were other plays in the run game where he made some plays. And he pushed the pocket a little bit in the pass protection. I like what I saw from him. I was pleasantly surprised, and plays the game with power that they don't normally have inside. And that's why I was really impressed with him.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I mean, we need that. I mean, you draft a guy in the second round, he needs to be a starter, an impactful starter on your team. I'm not saying his rookie year, but like next year, he needs to be like he needs to be the dude.
And if he's the dude, that means 3 of the 4 spots you have dudes. And that, one thing I did notice, they did change. You noticed this too, Tony. They played a lot of 5-man fronts on.
They really almost went back to their 3-4 with Trayvon and Josh Allen standing up, and they brought 3 big guys inside.
And they played Armstead at not an end. He played mostly at tackle.
They blitzed a little bit early in the game.
They blitzed more early.
Yeah. There were some changes on that. That's their internal changes that they decided to make, I guess. And granted, I still think Allen and Walker are better with their hands on the ground in a 4-man front. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I do.
So, but out of necessity, I think they went to what they did on Sunday, and they wanted to stop the run. I mean, they wanted to stop Mixon. That's what they wanted to do.
Well, yeah, and they did a great job.
They did.
Yeah.
But as the game went on, they got worn down, and he popped some big ones and impactful ones, and ended up getting over 100 yards. They only gave up 107 on the ground, 4.38 carry.
But he got most of that late in the game.
That's what I'm saying. Right. Most of the fourth quarter.
We've got to come back. Hour 1 in the books. Hour 2 coming up. We'll keep it real. Fanatics fan questions and go around the NFL. This is Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinders home. How about 2.99% in year 1 in one of Dreamfinders' 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year 1 and a beautiful new Dreamfinders home. Visit DFHSalesEvent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's DFHSalesEvent.com.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored Administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
It's the final days of the Black Friday sales event at your local Ford dealer. Don't miss great offers on new inventory arriving daily. Now's the time to take home the legendary Ford F-150, the truck at the top of everyone's list. Or Ford Expedition, an SUV with room for all your passengers and presents. And if you're ready for big holiday thrills, unwrap the Built Wild Bronco SUV. But hurry, offers end December 2nd. Get holiday ready during the final days of the Black Friday sales event at your local Ford dealer.
Jacksonville Builders score big with DL Cabinetry. As the official cabinet supplier of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they offer top quality kitchen and bathroom cabinetry for any project. Enjoy fast turnaround, complimentary design, and great prices. Visit dlcabinetry.com today to learn more and to become a dealer. Limited spots available. DL Cabinetry, the winning choice for builders.
quality replacement window made with Fibrex material, which is 2 times stronger than vinyl, delivered through a stress-free process. Welcome to Renewal by Anderson. Get the peace of mind knowing Renewal by Anderson handles everything from start to finish. With one call, you'll enjoy working with the best people, exclusive products, and superior process. It's the people, it's the process, it's the product. For a limited time, buy one, get one 40% off all windows and doors, plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
I gave them. I didn't meet with them today. I gave them all they had to do today was just basically come in and get their lift, treatment, all that kind of stuff. I didn't meet with them today. I won't meet with them tomorrow. See them on Wednesday. Just wanted them to kind of, clear their heads of this one and really let's focus on Tennessee this week and these next 5. But I'll say this after the game. I mean, it's a locker room that's they're hurting, they're disappointed, frustrated, they're scratching their heads like we all are trying to figure this thing out. But it's a resilient group too. They'll bounce back on Wednesday. They'll prepare for Tennessee, another division game, on the road, all that stuff, and they'll bounce back. So a couple days here to kind of think about it, put it behind us, and move forward.
That's head coach Doug Peterson earlier today. Welcome back. Second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings. Before the game, after the game, and during the game, we're on 1010XL, AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick, Hall of Famer Tony Boselli, and CBS Sports senior writer Pete Prisco. After a Jaguars loss, 5th now in a row for the Jags. This one a 23-20 defeat to the Houston Texans. The Texans have won now 10 of the last 11 road games against the Jaguars, including one of those.
We're on to next week.
We're on to Tennessee. I get it. Jaguars eliminated from division title contention with yesterday's loss. They would be officially eliminated from any postseason contention with the Broncos win tonight. Trevor Lawrence is in the concussion protocol after a nasty hit from Texans linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair, who has since apologized, at least in a post. We'll see what the league thinks about it coming up. Tackle Walker Little extended prior to yesterday's game. And now 5 games ago, 3 in the division, including this week's trip to Nashville to face the Tennessee Titans. Here we are. 2-10.
That hurts.
It does. Doesn't feel good, Pete.
No, it's not a good team. They've had a lot of stuff go on this year, and let's be real, changes are coming. It's just a matter of what changes are coming. And Tony, in watching the tape, you mentioned that Walker Little played well. I thought Anton Harrison did a nice job at right tackle, too.
I did too.
And across the board there was protection. And the run game, Mitch Morse had a rough go of it in the run game. He did not play well in the run game. Good in pass protection, but he wasn't good in the run game. Would you agree with me?
Yes. I thought the Jags overall struggled. I mean, they had the one drive after Trevor got hit where they
that was all runs, that one.
Mowing them down.
But, come on. Mowing them down.
Well, they're getting 4 or 5 until they didn't. They got, okay, fair enough. There was 4 or 5 plays in a row where they were getting, 4, 5, 6 a pop. And then it stopped.
Yeah. Where'd that go? They lasted a drive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And again, the center wasn't good in the run game. And again, that goes back to something that's been a problem for them for a couple years. And he's been good in pass protection. He hasn't been great in the run game last month. And you wonder if he's coming back. I mean, I haven't been told or anything, but we talk about the right guard and the center. Those guys, who knows if they're coming? They're veterans. You never know.
Yeah, our backs had 20 carries for 74 yards.
It's not good.
No,
it's not enough.
There is a couple things on that offense that are optimistic. Though. Brian Thomas is going to be a superstar.
Okay.
He will be.
So you think he's a true?
Yes, he's a
alpha.
Chase.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Why?
Well, he can run. He's His hands are outstanding, by the way. I know he's had a couple of going up and making that play in the end zone was a great play. He caught the one on the sideline. He wasn't getting his feet in, but he made a great play on that. But he gets open and he can run. I mean, the crosser, he ran away from everybody. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of play that they hadn't. That was new to their playbook in a certain part. It was a man-to-man situation. They had a pick, came across, boom, loved it. They got to get him the football more, and I think they made a concerted effort to do that. He's going to be a superstar. Parker Washington can run routes. That might be one of the most improved route runners in this league over the course of year 1 to year 2.
And he's outstanding after the catch running the ball because he's physical. He's not fast. He's physical, and he's elusive.
What did he end up with yesterday? Because
he had over 100. I got it right here.
He had Parker Washington.
6 for 103, 17 yards a catch, 1 touchdown.
But he left some out there. He had 12 targets in the game. Touchdown, left corner, couldn't make the catch.
It was too high.
Front left corner. Was it?
Yeah, that was too high.
Yeah.
It's like right here, wasn't it?
No.
That was a bad throw.
Bad throw.
Okay.
He could have been Gumby and he wasn't catching it.
No. You can't put that on him.
All right. Anyway, but 6 didn't get caught, is my point.
But I love here's the thing.
You're tough.
If Christian Kirk hadn't been hurt, they probably would have traded him.
Who, Christian?
Yes. There was rumors that they were going to trade him. And if now the way Parker Washington's playing, they're basically the same kind of guy. Do you need both of them?
I know which one's less expensive.
Of course.
I'll say this: I don't think that's a priority as you think about how you need to build it. When I say priority decision, I don't think that's like
go out and get a receiver,
right?
Yeah.
Or go out and get a pass catcher because you don't need any of them.
No. This team needs more speed on defense, and they need more big people. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what they need.
You need another corner.
Yes. The interesting thing is there was all the talk this offseason, preseason, how the safeties were positioned as strength.
Oh, yeah. Cisco going into a contract year.
Cisco got benched.
Antonio Johnson's going to play and step up finally.
Cisco got benched.
He did.
And they put him back in because of injury. Mm-hmm. Because
Savage got hurt.
Yep. On the deep ball, Jari and Jones got kicked out, so now Savage had to play nickel.
That's right.
But he also got dinged up in the game too.
Yeah, but before that's when Cisco came back in because you had to put Savage at nickel.
Yeah.
On the deep one that C.J. Stroud was late to Tank Dell, where he had run by everybody.
Yeah, he jumped underneath.
That's because he jumped underneath. He has middle third.
Right. He jumped. He jumped that route like I'm going to go get an interception because he stared that way at first, and then he jumped that thing and then wide open in the middle of the field. That should have been a touchdown.
And you could see Darby just going, "What in the heck are you doing?" And he got pulled.
And he's had a bad year. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And for a contract year, for a guy who was going to cash in on a contract, he hadn't cashed in on it, and he's certainly not going to get a contract in Jacksonville.
Well, you thought that the safety was a strength. Now you're looking. We need safeties. In our corner, need safeties.
Here's the thing about safeties, Tony.
You need interior D linemen.
But here's the thing about safeties. You look around the league, and some of the guys that are playing the best football were other teams' cast-offs.
Pete, I agree with you, by the way. I don't think, like, safety, you're not drafting a guy in the first round or second round or anything like that.
But, I mean, like, watch Denver tonight. They got the kid from Miami, Jones. They let him go. He's played really well for him. Julian Love in Seattle. Giants let him go. He played really well for him. Byard was a failure in Philadelphia, but he's been better for Chicago. You look around the league, and you got to find one of those guys, and then maybe draft one in the fifth. Get lucky and get a playmaker in the fifth or sixth round.
Well, and you hope Antonio Johnson can develop.
Right, he's still young.
Because he's a young guy. He's got athletic.
I don't know if he's got the instincts for that, though.
And he might not, Pete. I don't know. But maybe he plays more down the stretch. I don't know.
But you can find a guy in the 5th or 6th. You look around like the Mustafa kid that the 49ers found out of Wake Forest in the 5th round. I mean, you can find guys. So you get a veteran, you get him in, but you can fix that position. The corner they need an athletic corner in the worst way. I mean, Darby hadn't worked. They need an athletic corner. If you can get an elite, whether you draft, you're not going to draft. I wouldn't draft them in the 1st round, but maybe you could do. But if you get one of those guys, pair him with Campbell and Jerry Jones playing the nickel, then you have a nice young nucleus of guys.
Okay, I got a draft question for you.
No, don't do it, Tony. Don't do it.
I got him.
No,
I got him in.
It was like, I saw it coming a mile away. You fell right into it.
I'm not.
He did.
This isn't about whether we pick this person or not. It's a question I'm asking Pete because I need to be prepared for next week when we are talking draft.
Okay.
So this is not us picking this individual or not.
It's just in a group. Any team.
Yeah, any team. Is Travis Hunter a corner or wide receiver in the league?
I think he's a corner.
Okay.
I think he's a corner who can play wide receiver.
Is he an elite corner?
He's pretty darn good.
He's really good.
And I'm not saying he's not. I haven't watched him enough.
He's really good.
But, and I'm going to put a big but on this. They can't. Jacksonville or the Giants or whoever could not take him in that spot.
And number 1.
No. Again, go back to the theory. Or New England, even if they had the number 1 pick, or whoever. You need to get big guys. Come on. You need to get New England, they need offensive linemen. The Giants,
it's not a deep offensive line draft, Pete.
No, I know, but it's going to challenge your scouting department. And I'm going to go to the Vikings. Christian Darrisaw went in the 20s. The Vikings are a different team when Christian Darrisaw is not on the field. You need to challenge your scouting department to find that guy. That's what you need to do. You go back to that draft. Slater, good left tackle. You have to. Hey, the Eagles found Mailata, didn't they? You got to.
No.
You got to.
Pete, I agree with you 100%. I was really curious about Travis Hunter because I hear so much about him, and I see highlights of him, and he's obviously a special athlete. I assume he can run like the wind.
Mm-hmm.
He's special. He's a special player. But Tony, okay. Now that Jacksonville, we are talking a little bit about the draft, but now that Jacksonville has signed Walker Little, and they're not going to draft a tackle in the 1st round.
No.
So that takes that completely out of the book. You're not going to take a guard in the 1st round.
Well, not with the top 5 pick. You're not.
Of course. So that takes that out of the equation. So now you're not drafting a big guy in the 1st round.
Is there any dominant defensive lineman out there in this draft?
Well, the kid from Michigan, I think, is great. Mason Graham.
Is that 55?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good player.
But he's only I think he's only 6'2" or 6'3", but it doesn't matter. That kid's going to be a big-time player. But can you take him number 1 overall? If you had the number 1 pick? But that's what they have to find.
Is there any quarterbacks that people are clamoring to get?
Corners?
No, quarter.
Yeah, you might be able to work out of that. If you're number 1, you can work down and let somebody go up and get Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward or somebody. Yes.
How about the kid from Ole Miss? Is he a top?
Jackson Dart?
Yeah, I have no idea.
No, I don't think so.
No. The kid.
I haven't watched any. I mean, I watched USC, and that's about
the kid at. Well, you should watch Arizona State. They're in the championship game.
Great.
The kid. And by the way, JP, if ASU wins their playoff game, their conference championship game next week, they'll be in, and Alabama will be home watching.
That's right.
Just to let you know.
That's right.
But no, the quarterback from Mandarin, Carson Beck, went into the year as the number 1 overall guy and kind of played himself out of it a little bit.
Yeah. So last question on this, and
and then we can please move forward.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
You broke your own rule, man. I mean, I'm actually stunned by this.
Yeah, but it's 6 hours from now. It's a moot point.
You
JP.
were
It'll be
so
done.
steadfast.
I'm not saying who we're picking. I'm trying to prepare for next week so I understand. The big question to me is Pete, last question on Travis Hunter, because I'm fascinated by this guy. Fascinated by him.
Plays every snap.
He's amazing. The condition and like the will to be out there in an era where guys are getting substituted right and left. This guy goes every snap.
And he's effective.
And he makes plays.
Yes.
And he's like good. So is he as good as Sauce Gardner coming out at corner? Because you remember the year we took Trayvon and then the Lions took Hutchinson.
Sauce went 4.
Was it 3 or 4?
I thought he went 4.
Okay, he was early. Top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You could trade down and take like Hunter.
Is he that
situation? You get Hunter and you play him at corner. You could use him as a wide receiver.
But I'm saying, is he as good as Sauce as a prospect coming out? Is he as good as Sauce Gardner?
I haven't watched his tape. I've just watched his games. But watching his games, and I would say yes.
Okay.
He tackles better than Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner doesn't tackle anybody.
Let me tell you what I like about that kid from what I've seen and watched his interviews. And the fact that he plays every snap. He's a competitor. And I think one of the things, regardless of, all good and great players have a competitive drive that's off the charts. There's like an internal thing that they want to be great. They want to win. And I've never met the kid. I've seen interviews. But the fact that he does what he does tells me he is a ultimate competitor. And you can never have too many of those.
They've taken themselves out of the offensive line market in the draft. They just have. So that
I disagree with that, Pete. I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
What do you mean? It takes them out of the tackle market.
Yeah, in the first round.
Right, but
they drafted one last year, didn't they?
They did.
Foster.
So
it takes them out of in the first round or first 2 rounds. It takes them out of the tackle market.
Not the first tackle market, but listen. Would you be against loading up on centers and guards and DTs in the first 3 rounds?
No, I would not.
Me neither.
But defensive tackle has to be at play too.
Let the record reflect that this Monday, December 2nd, was when we started talking about the draft, and the Jaguars are not eliminated yet. And it wasn't my decision, for the record.
Well, they technically will be by tonight, so it's the same day. It's the same day thing.
They aren't right now.
In my defense, we did not talk about the Jaguars and who they should pick or not pick.
You literally just did.
No, I did not.
You just talked about, are they in the tackle market? Oh, no, yeah, they are. What?
Okay, I broke the rule there. I was curious about Travis Hunter.
I tricked them. And you know what? The fans are thrilled that we did. So thank me, fans. I got them to talk about the draft.
You got a rating spike there? Is that what you're saying, Pete?
Went way through the roof. That's why people don't care about next week's game. They care about the draft.
Well, let's come back and talk about next week's games and the 5 remaining. We'll keep it real when we return, because it's been fake for an hour and 17 minutes.
For a long time.
For years, in fact. Mr. Chubby's Wings, we had the chicken Caesar wrap, we had the Chubby-style wings, we had French fries and cheese sauce, and it was fantastic. Thanks to Mr. Chubby's Wings each and every Monday for the food options for our production staff. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
You love free. And at Ameris Bank, so do we. That's why we're proud to offer worry-free, hassle-free Ameris Bank free checking. Manage your money your way with convenient access to digital, mobile, and telephone banking, all with no monthly service fee or minimum balance requirements. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. For more information or to open an account, visit our local bankers in person or online at amerisbank.com/free checking. Other fees such as overdraft fees may apply. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Looking for the perfect place to host a business trip, corporate group, or social gathering? Look no further than the award-winning Sheraton Jacksonville Hotel, proudly part of the Marriott family of hotels. Centrally located next to the St. John's Town Center off Gate Parkway in JTB, they offer everything you need, whether you're hosting a meeting or just unwinding with friends at the BC Grill and Patio. Discover unmatched comfort and convenience. Visit SheratonJacksonville.com for exclusive game day special rates and book your stay today.
To aim higher, run faster. It's what elite athletes do. Always strive for better. At UF Health, we have that same DNA. To not just treat a stroke, but to create a fleet of mobile stroke treatment units. To not just do research, but to use AI to save lives with one of the most powerful supercomputers in academia. We believe, like athletes, that human progress has no finish line. UF Health, National Medical Center for Team USA.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a dirty hit. I think, obviously, those hits are always in question. Trevor was going down, and I saw it out of my peripheral. I got a pretty clear view of it, and in that moment, instinct was it just didn't feel like a clean hit, so I just go stick up for my quarterback.
Devin Ingram, Jaguars tight end in the locker room after the game, and welcome back, Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Pete Prisco. Time now for Keeping It Real, presented by Nobody. And the Jaguars have 5 games remaining in the regular year. They have been eliminated from division title contention, and a Denver Broncos win tonight would eliminate them from any playoff contention. So with 5 games to go, 3 in the division, what is a general approach moving ahead over the last 5 games? How do they keep this thing together and move forward? Pete?
Well, if you lose all 5, you have the number 1 overall pick, so that's a big win for them. No, I'm kidding.
You're not.
Look, you play to win.
Yeah.
No, the best case scenario, and I'm going to be real about it, the best case scenario is young players like Mason Smith and those kind of players go in and play well down the stretch and get the experience and get some on-the-field experience that they need, and you still lose the games. That's the best case scenario. And you can't talk to me until you're blue in the face about winning games and feeling good and everything. The best case scenario from a fan's perspective and from the organization's perspective, they would never admit that, is if you get young players playing well and playing better and yet still lose the games.
Pete, do you think they lose all 5?
What is it's Tennessee? Give me the schedule again. It's Tennessee.
It goes Tennessee,
Jets,
Raiders, Tennessee, Indy.
No, I don't, because I think the Jets are horrendous. I mean, the Jets had a kickoff return for a touchdown.
They lost last minute.
They lost, did they? Wow.
No, they had a kickoff return for a touchdown, 2 fumbled kickoffs by Laviska Shenault, by the way, and set them up point-blank range. They had a 21-7 lead. We're going in to make it 28-7, and Aaron Rodgers threw a pick 6 to Leonard Williams.
Wow.
And so they're not very good right now, and they're not playing for anything. So I think they might beat the Jets.
So that's 1.
Because I don't see the Giants winning another game, Pete.
They're pretty bad, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're bad. So, yeah, you might be right. But then the Giants, that wouldn't really impact the Jacksonville, but because the Giants will take a quarterback. Jacksonville will not. So if you're at number 2, you can still trade that pick to somebody else who wants to go get one of the other quarterbacks.
Well, the Raiders
need a quarterback.
They need a quarterback, but they're better with Aiden O'Connell. And I think they win a game or two.
Right. So Jacksonville could end up still at number 2, even if you win one. They'll win one. They'll win one. They might win 2, but they'll win one.
Jags Raiders head-to-head, by the way, coming up, which could be impactful.
On the
but
road,
again,
late December.
I know you kill me when I say stuff like that, but the reality is that's the way it is. And no game winning a game down the stretch is carrying over. It's not going to give you good feelings because it's probably going to be an entirely new group. And so nothing will carry over. Zero. None of it. So it doesn't matter. But players getting experience and playing and growing, that will carry over.
Pete, if they were to lose them and get the number 1 pick, they'd be the first team ever with 3 number 1 overall picks in a 5-year span.
Well, you could put that on a billboard or put it on a plane and fly it over the city, and you still might not have a change. I mean, come on. Are we serious? Could you think about that? You could pick first overall 3 of the last 5 years. I mean,
it's never happened.
It screams disaster.
It's never happened.
There's a reason it's never happened. Usually when you get them, you do something with them and your team changes its fortunes. Come on. But let's give the backup left tackle a new deal and make it look good because I drafted him. Oh, I didn't say that.
The interesting thing is that I remember at the beginning of the year we were talking about these last 5 games, like the winnable.
Oh, yeah, this is the back end. And it's the second easiest strength of schedule over the last 6 weeks of the season, by the way, in the NFL.
But I watched the Titans on tape last week. That's a good defense.
They were bad yesterday, though.
Were they?
Gave up 42.
They weren't good yesterday. But they fumbled the ball twice. Once Pollard fumbled at point-blank range, and then they fumbled the kickoff, and that led to 14. But you know how that can get away from you a little bit. But they weren't great yesterday.
The little bit of tape I've watched, that Texas kid, Sweat, my goodness. He's a big, powerful man. Him and Jeffrey Simmons on the interior, that D-line's like
nasty.
You got your hands full.
Tony, when I was there, somebody told me a story about him. They want him about like 350-ish or whatever, 345-ish. And so during the offseason, they got him a dietitian because he was up near 370 or whatever. He got a dietitian. And he was doing well, and they watched him walking out. One of the guys bumped into him and they said, "What are you doing?" He had like 8 Gatorades, not the sugar-free kind, either the regular kind, with his little dietitian meal, and he was taking it home. They go, "Well, it kind of defeats the purpose of you eating the meal like that when you're drinking 8 of those a night."
Just full of sugar.
Yeah. So, but he is a good player, and, Simmons is a good player, and Arden Key can rush the passer. And
Harold Landry.
What's that?
Harold Landry?
Yeah. The problem is the back end has been, Snead's been hurt, wasn't good all year and then got hurt. He's out. And they haven't been great on the back end, and they give up a lot of big plays. Levis has gotten a lot better. The last 4 weeks, he's been actually.
Pete, I watched the tape of him against the Texans the week before.
Yeah. He threw the 1 pick 6 was a terrible throw, but other than that, he was pretty good.
He made some throws. I was like, dang.
And he got beat to death in that game.
He did, but he made some great throws. So, I mean, my whole point is, when you're 2-10, none of them are easy. The Titans have a strong front 7. Physical. It's going to be a good test. Will Levis is playing better.
And Mac Jones is probably playing.
Probably.
In the last game of the year, the Colts are going to be playing for the wild card, most likely. Outside.
We'll know next week because they play at Denver.
If they beat the Broncos, they're in it. I mean, they're right in the
hunt. If they beat the Broncos, their schedule is favorable. They might be the wild card team.
Yep.
But here, look, the bottom line is they might not win any, but they could win 1 or 2.
Wow.
Do you shut down Trevor?
So that was part of the conversation today during the press conference for Doug Peterson. As we mentioned before, he said, hey, we'll let him get through the protocol. We'll see where the team's at, make a decision. You want to still have something to fight for, but you got to have long-term look at his health as well.
So for me, it's pretty simple. The concussion's going to take whatever time it does. I'd be shocked if he plays this week.
Me too. He's not playing this week.
Absolutely shocked based on how his body responded at the moment of the concussion.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be shocked. So does anything change if you beat the Titans? And he's ready to play?
No. But here's the other part of that equation, Tony. He proved to a lot of people, and not that he has to prove to anybody outside of the building, but he proved to his teammates that he cares and he wants to play by playing last week, by going in there and playing. Look, the shoulder isn't the throwing shoulder, but the pain has to be brutal on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so he could have easily just said, no, I'm going to shut it down. But I think he decided to play in large part to show his teammates, look, this is what I care. I care for you guys, and I want to show you that I can tough this out. And sometimes to a fault he does that, but he did it. Now that he did that and showed them, now shut him down. Now shut him down. Concussion, shoulder, maybe he needs some cleanup surgery on that shoulder. Get it done. Do it. Shut him down. There's no reason he plays the rest of the year. Zero. He got $250 million invested in that guy. You're going to build the entire thing around him. Shut him the hell down. Enough. Done. Don't play anymore.
Pete, is it concerning? This is back-to-back years of injuries for Trevor that's forcing the missed time?
Yes. Whenever anybody has, and I'm going to use Christian McCaffrey as an example. He had a pattern of injuries with guys. They start getting concerned. Like Christian McCaffrey's been hurt like a bunch in his career, and now he's hurt again. And so when you see patterns like that, there's no doubt it's concerning. So yes, to answer your question, it is. And the concussion, I forgot that there was one last year, and now that's 2 years in a row. And this one,
this was a bad
up.
one, yes.
But the fencing showed up, and that means it's accelerated a little bit. So that is concerning. Yes, absolutely. By the way, he wasn't playing very well before he got knocked out of the game.
No, he was rusty.
And you could see it. And Tony, there was a play, I think, where he left a clean pocket where he had Brian Thomas wide open, and he didn't throw it to him. And you could see Thomas kind of jump up and down. Did you see his body? Brian Thomas has a tendency, like all receivers, they're open every play. But he shows it a little bit, which I don't mind, but he does show it. Sometimes you got to be careful with that. You don't want to show up your quarterback. But you remember the play I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
He left there was nobody really rushing him, and he bailed to the left. Now, on the play where he got hit and hurt, there was nobody open on that play. He got out of there because he had to get out of there.
There you have it. Keeping It Real, presented by Nobody. I think we did. We kept it real. You guys kept it. Back in a moment. Fanatics fan questions are dead ahead. Attention music fans, the 2025 season at Daly's Place is right around the corner. Get ready for the timeless classics of Rod Stewart and the soulful sounds of Teddy Swims and much more. Head to dailysplace.com for tickets and show information. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Tackle your marketing needs with Kessler Creative. Providing direct mail services for more than a decade, Kessler has a wide range of services from small mailers to large banners and signs. Draft Kessler as your first pick to receive the best targeted mail list. Elevate your business and be on the winning team with Kessler Creative. Kessler Creative, results-driven marketing and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you ready to love how you feel, look, and live in every season? At Elace, we offer more than just luxury med spa treatments. We provide a serene, judgment-free space where you can reconnect with the best version of you. Whether you want to refresh your natural look with Botox or Dysport, pamper yourself with a relaxing hydrofacial, or rejuvenate your complexion with laser resurfacing, our expert team in Jacksonville is here to tailor treatments to your needs. Visit Elace.com today and start your journey to loving yourself.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's the final days of the Black Friday sales event at your local Ford dealer. Don't miss great offers on new inventory arriving daily. Now's the time to take home the legendary Ford F-150, the truck at the top of everyone's list. Or Ford Expedition, an SUV with room for all your passengers and presents. And if you're ready for big holiday thrills, unwrap the Built Wild Bronco SUV. But hurry, offers end December 2nd. Get holiday ready during the final days of the Black Friday sales event at your local Ford dealer.
It's cool to know that when Mac comes in the game that he trusts us. That's what it's all about. And then, like I said, like early in the years, like it's all about building trust with your teammates and continue to build on that. And it's exciting when he's in the game and the energy he brings and the confidence that he instills within us. So it's exciting. So we don't lose any faith or confidence when he's in the game.
Parker Washington, over 100 yards receiving for the first time in his career yesterday. And welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, the second hour, presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings. JP Shadrick, Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli. Jaguars are 2-10, 5 games to go. Eliminated from division title contention, and a Broncos win tonight would knock the Jaguars out of any playoff contention. Time now for the Fanatics fan questions. Jaguars fans, gear up at Fanatics.com with all the latest Jag styles. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything. It is Cyber Monday. Tony, you look excited about that.
I don't care.
Clearly.
No, but I'm saying about Cyber Monday. I mean,
Pete, did you buy anything today?
No, I did not.
No, me either.
Did you?
No.
You know who cares about Cyber Monday? My wife.
Oh, so you bought something, you just don't know it yet.
Oh, yeah, I bought a bunch of stuff.
Love it. We put the cat signal out on X. Here's the best we've come up with. At the Foot Vault Guy, can we talk about the draft now? Well, I think we just did.
Well,
they were clamoring for it.
Hold on, we did not go deep draft talk. We did a teaser.
Which is talking about the draft.
No, it was a teaser. I was trying to get information. I didn't, because Pete brought up the need for a corner. And I had a question about college football players.
You got hoodwinked into talking about it, is what happened.
I got him.
He might have got me.
And you know what's even better about it is how mad JP got about it.
It's unbelievable. What are we doing?
We're 2-10, dude. Dude, we're 2-10.
When you sent out the text this morning, what was my first response to you?
Draft.
Yeah.
I saw
one word. Like, come on.
We're 2-10, dude.
I'm aware, but they're not officially eliminated.
Well, who made that damn rule anyways?
I did.
Well, you broke it.
I did.
You broke your own rule. That's what I'm more mad about. Is
I
like you broke
it
your
because
own.
when I made the rule, I never imagined in 1,000 years we'd be 2-10.
And this time last year they weren't good, but they were in the
were
race.
In the mix. Yes, they were first
When was
place.
the last time they've been out of the race? Is what 2020?
21.
Yeah.
Well, they were out of the race in 19, 20, and 21. 18, 19, 20, 21.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They've been out of the race more than in the race.
Well, in their history too.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Recently, yeah.
Somebody sent me a stat the other day. By the way, a buddy of mine sent me a thing saying Jacksonville's never won a Week 13 game in their history. Is that true?
I have no idea. No, I guarantee that's not true because in '99 we lost Week 2 and Week 15.
I thought that Titans game was later.
Yeah, it was Week 15 because it was. We traveled on Christmas Day. It was the 26th in Nashville.
Yes.
It was week 16, yes.
Oh, yeah, the bye. So
Correct.
Week 16.
Week
15th game of the season.
So that can't be true. It can't be true.
It's not true. We won
Jaguars
that week.
beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 13 that year, 20-6.
Yeah, so it's not true. Bad stat.
Saw it on the internet. It must be true, Pete.
Right.
Yeah, right.
You got to fact check stuff, Pete.
Come on.
Well, I didn't. I said somebody sent that to me. I didn't go look it up.
But you brought it on the air like you knew it was real.
I said somebody sent it to me. This is true? I said. I didn't say it was real.
Well, somebody's wrong. Somebody's wrong.
They are wrong.
Next question. At Totally Chad, how would Tony have reacted to the hit on Trevor had he been on the team?
Probably the same way Evan Ingram would have. I mean,
you might have been more violent.
I mean, I think the only thing I think would have done. I mean, I guess this is go watch the tape when any time like.
What's the classic photo of you and like 4 ravens on you or something?
Just go look at that. I mean, so I would have lost my mind. Probably got thrown out of the game. I never finished the story. So I got thrown out that game in Baltimore. Yeah. And I'm walking, and Jerry Palmieri, strength coach at the time, he's walking me to the locker room. And as I'm like halfway to the locker room, I hear Tom screaming at me, "Get back in the game." And I said, they threw me out. He's like, no, they didn't. They reinstated you back in. I'm like, okay. So I went back in, finished the game. Like 2 or 3 years later, I see the official, and I said, hey. Well, first he comes up, he goes, hey, thanks. I go, what? He goes, you tore my labrum. I'd have surgery.
Barbarian. You're a barbarian.
Trying to break up the fight. And I said, dude, I'm sorry. My bad. And he laughed. And I said, I got a question for you. I said, you guys threw me out, and then you brought me back in. And he says, yeah. He says it was a late game. It was 4 o'clock game. And if we throw someone out, there's a bunch of paperwork we have to do afterwards. And we would have missed the last flight out of Jacksonville.
God, that's so bad.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm going to go with it.
Did you and him compare torn labrum stories?
No. I can't remember who it was. It could have been
you tore both yours, didn't you?
Yeah. He could have been making it up. Just making a funny story.
It's a funny story.
It's a funny story. I don't know if it's true or not. But I always wondered, like, how do
you get unejected?
But Tony would have hit him, that guy hard. You would have put your full body all over, and you would have nailed him in that scenario.
I would have done the same thing Evan did when he took the shot first, but then I would have...
You speared him, probably.
You would have stayed on him.
I would have got on the ground and form and back the head, and I would have thrown out. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I know me.
Yeah.
I mean, plus, we could do things back when I played that would get you thrown out today.
Well, also, that forearm would have got you thrown out that he gave to Trevor either back 25 years ago.
That would have been it would have been a personal foul.
You know, it's funny. One of the
no
guys
one's getting thrown out for that.
After that hit Sunday, one of my producers called up. We were sitting in there watching the game. One of my guys called up. He goes, remember that old segment they used to do, Jacked Up? They showed one where one of the Chiefs quarterbacks got so hit.
Trent Green.
No, it wasn't Green. It was another time. It was a legal dirty hit, and the guy was exact same situation that Trevor was in, where he fenced, And nowadays, You couldn't put that on there and start screaming about what a great hit it was.
Nope.
You can't do that anymore.
Well, the game is so different. Mike Singletary got the hit of the year on the exact same. I saw now again. I don't know if this is true or not, but it was on X. They showed a video of him taking the same shot and just blowing up a quarterback. Just knocking him out.
The game is different.
It's
a different game,
so
man.
different. I remember,
and when Mike Singletary played, it was different than it was 20 years ago. Before it was even worse.
It was. So I remember. No, someone said it was Dan or Jeff this morning. They said that's the most violent, nasty hit, cheap shot we've seen. I said, "Are you crazy?"
That was commonplace back in the day.
Did you forget about James Harrison almost killing Colt McCoy? Like literally almost killed him.
Mm.
Which one of the guys on your team took Keenan out with a dirty hit? Greg Lloyd on the Steelers?
Yep. That started.
You remember that story?
I do remember that story. That started a little pushing and shoving.
Yeah, Keenan. Remember, he said Keenan called his house during the week and said stuff to his wife. Could you imagine? If that happened in today's? That would be viral. It would be everywhere.
Listen, I'm going to say something's probably controversial, but what the heck? I agree with the player safety stuff. It's smart. It's a tough game. And what the league is doing, trying to take the head out, protect both defenders and offensive players from unnecessary, ridiculous injuries and head injuries. And what we know about brain injuries today, like, I get it. It's smart. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't miss the game how I played it. It was a different game. I'm not saying better, but maybe it's just because that's when I played, but you could do things. Like, you talk about retribution. You could really get retribution back then. And you could start a fight knowing the worst thing that was going to happen is you're going to get offsetting 15-yard penalties.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Like, I remember there was a play you remember we played Pittsburgh once, and Levon Kirkland took a shot of Mark late in the out of bounds, and I ran over there and hit him, and the fight starts, and all the officials did is just break it up and say, "Hey, calm down, guys."
Right.
Back to the huddle.
Go back to the huddle.
Would you have worn the Guardian cap?
No.
No?
Nope. Pete, I didn't barely like to wear shoulder pads when I played.
I know. You had little shoulder pads. I always remember that.
So, and that was not, listen, this is not, I want to be careful here because the guys today are tough as nails. So this isn't a toughness.
It's not a toughness.
It's not a toughness.
The same guys would have been like you guys.
These guys would have played the same way I played. And if I played in today's game, I'd be doing the same thing they're doing.
Of course.
Because it's the rules of the game, and you play in the era that you play in. And it was nastier before I played, a generation before me. And so this is not about toughness. I want to be clear. And sometimes you guys hear, like, people hear us old guys talking, "Oh, man, if they were playing, they'd be so much tougher than these guys." No. Let me tell you what. Brandon Sheriff, tough guy. Evan Ingram, tough guy.
Yep. Yeah. The players are still tough.
They're tough, physical.
JP, he'd still be butchering names if he had worn the Guardian cap, though. It doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, that has nothing to do.
That's not funny, Pete.
With the shots to the head.
It's not funny.
There you have it. Fanatics fan questions are in. Let's come back and go around the National Football League. It's a pretty good one, Pete. I'll give you credit for that one. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby Swings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job. but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way, from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
Football and Miller Lite. Duval's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going well past postgame. Sunday night overtimes. Followed by Monday morning pride. Knocking on bar tops for luck. Kicking back on any given Sunday. You never forget the way some things taste. Jags football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. A high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense. A rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips, delicious sub-platters with ice-cold beverages, and you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Sports very emotional, especially when something like that happens, and we definitely came together as a team and fought hard. For Trevor, came up short at the end, but I feel like the guys responded, and obviously Trevor's safety is the most important. But yeah, I feel like we moved forward and tried to win it for Trevor.
Mac Jones, Jaguars quarterback, came in relief of Trevor Lawrence yesterday. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings. JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli from the Hyundai Studios, Pete Prisco down in South Florida. And for 11 years, Dreamfinders Homes has been proud to call themselves the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all the available inventory, and go Jags. Let's go around the National Football League. 3 Thanksgiving games. The Lions survived the Bears, and then the Bears fired their head coach. 23-20 the final in that one. Cowboys beat the Giants 27-20, and then the Packers handled the Dolphins in the cold. Apparently Miami doesn't know how to play below 40 degrees. 30-17. Packers win that one, Pete, but the Bears ran off Eberflus.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, coaching malpractice is what he had. At the end of that game, it was awful. But that's not it. Remember, you go back to the Hail Mary. He messed that all up as well, and the players started squawking about him. It was time for him to know.
Cowboys still in it, Pete.
They are still in it, and their schedule's not that tough. I mean, they have a couple tough games, but they don't look like a playoff team, though. I mean, come on, let's be real. If Dak Prescott was in there, maybe they're getting guys back, but they don't look like a playoff team.
Is Mike McCarthy safe, or is he going to get fired at the end of the year?
I think he's safe. I think he's going to come back.
He's a good coach. He's a good coach.
He is a good coach. He should come back.
Black Friday, Chiefs over the Raiders, 19-17. Wild ending in this one, too.
Wild. And just, the Chiefs are so lucky, Pete. I mean, good teams get luck. I mean, get the ball bounces their way, and they're a good team. I'm not taking that away from them, but my goodness. You talk about
the best thing, yeah.
You talk about malpractice of just handling the end of the game.
The best thing that can happen to the Chiefs is getting DJ Humphries healthy and put him in at left tackle. It will change the way they play. They will look like a different team. They cannot count. Talk about a guy who's sped up. They cannot count on that left side to protect it all.
Well, they had at one point their left guard, what's his name, kicked out the left tackle. Yeah.
It's bad.
Wow.
And they drafted one. They drafted one last year in the second round, and he was a failure when he went in.
Chargers beat the Falcons 17-13. I guess we'll find out about the Chargers next week when they play the Chiefs.
I think that's going to be a good game because the Chargers are physical. They're not real big up front. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a heavy run game for the Chiefs, Pete.
Yeah, they're not big on the defensive line at all. And their linebackers are small, too.
But they play smart. They play tough. I think that's going to be a close ball game.
That'll be fun. That'll be a fun game.
Steelers now 9-3, a 44-38 win over the Bengals. Russell Wilson, 3 touchdown passes, 4-14 through the air, and he threw a pick 6 in the first quarter.
Yeah, the receiver slipped down on that one, so it was kind of like it really wasn't his fault. But the Bengals, they're like the perfect tonic for any team that's having problems throwing the football. They can't stop anybody.
And Joe Burrow's having a great year. Got nothing for it.
Nobody would want them in the postseason either, because they could get hot and he could get hot and they could go on a run.
They're not making the postseason, Pete.
No, they're not.
Not this way. 4-8 right now. Vikings over the Cardinals, 23-22. The Colts went for 2 and beat the Patriots, 25-24.
I like it.
And Anthony Richardson's getting better. He's getting better. I mean, you got to give him credit. They sat him down. They had a talk with him. They told him, look, first one in, last one out. That's the way you got to live it as an NFL quarterback, and he's doing it. And he's gotten better. They play Denver next week. That'll decide their playoff fate.
That's going to be a good game, too, I think.
Yep.
Seahawks beat the Jets. We discussed that briefly. Commanders blasted the Titans 42-19. Bucks over the Panthers 26-23. Bucks NFC South. Are they the team, Pete?
They are. I think the schedule favors them, and they're getting guys healthy. And by the way, if they get in, they're going to be a dangerous team. They're going to be one of those teams that gets into the playoffs, and nobody's going to want to play them because they're getting guys back. Not only that, like Elijah Cansey, who didn't play like the first 6 weeks of the season, he's back, and he's starting to become a force in the middle next to Vita Vea. That's tough. That's tough to deal with.
And you know what? I love the story. I mean, here's a guy in Baker Mayfield who got run out of Cleveland for Deshaun. We should not have for Deshaun Watson of all people. Went to Carolina, did his time there, signed a team favorable deal with Tampa to prove it, went and won the job, and earned himself not a huge contract, but a nice 3-year deal. And Pete, would it surprise you if you woke up 5-6 years from now that Baker Mayfield's still the franchise quarterback of Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
No.
Me neither.
No. It wouldn't surprise me to see them win the division and become a factor in the playoffs.
I give him a ton of credit. I give Baker Mayfield a ton of credit. That's not easy what he went through.
Speaking of dangerous, he wakes up feeling dangerous. Baker Mayfield.
He's a funny
Remember,
dude.
he said that before.
I love Baker Mayfield.
I do
He's
too.
one of
I
my
love that
favorite
line.
guys. He's one of my favorite guys to deal with in the league, and he's a dude. And by the way,
the players, everything I've been told,
love him.
They love him in the building.
Yep.
Rams over the Saints, 21-14. Eagles beat the Ravens, 24-19. Lamar's mom cussed him out, he said, after the game.
Well, he didn't run enough, she thought. I tend to agree with her. He had opportunities to run, and he was kind of hesitant a little bit. But I tell you what, the Eagles are exhibit A on what you do when you get big guys, and not just on the offensive line, because that's a damn good offensive line. And by the way, everybody goes, oh, they've been a good offensive line for a long time. They lost their starting center, who was an all-pro, and they replaced him with Cam Jurgens, who was the right guard, and they went and got a left tackle reject and made him a monster at right guard. And on the defensive line, Jalen Carter is almost unblockable at times, and Davis was actually really good on Sunday. They're big on their defensive and offensive lines. They take advantage of it.
Pete, is Jalen Carter the best 3 technique in football?
I would say yes. When he wants to be. That's the only caveat you got to put on.
Okay.
Pete's favorite kind of game is a snow game, and the Bills beat the Niners 35-10. You went on the stupid rant on your video on CBS.
I saw it.
I wanted to comment so bad, but I don't want to give you the time of day.
Why? It's a survival test. That wasn't football. They're skipping and sliding around. Look, they're playing in slow. Chris Collinsworth kept saying it. They're playing slow. They can't even run. That's not football. It's garbage.
So I'll say this. I enjoyed the Steeler-Brown game better because wasn't that on grass?
Yes.
Yes.
And so you have better traction on grass. You get on that turf with that much snow, like they had no footing. You couldn't.
No.
You couldn't play.
It was terrible.
That's right. No,
It
but
was
I still
terrible.
like it. That's a bad.
It wasn't a good football game, and it wasn't fun to watch. Great, they had snow and they shoveled the lines and look at the pageantry and the Bills fans shoveled it. It's garbage.
Monday Night Football, AFC Battle a mile high. Jameis Winston and the Browns meet Bo Nix and the Broncos. A Denver win eliminates the Jaguars. Who you got? Quickly.
Broncos.
Good defense. Top defense.
Mile High. It's a hard place to play on Monday night. They haven't had a game in front of fans at Mile High Stadium since 2018 on Monday night.
If it happens, we'll talk draft next week.
I'm gonna have
draft talk.
I'm gonna have to dive in
that.
and do some studying before next week. See if we're doing full draft.
We got a little bit in today.
We did. That's Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli. I'm JP Shadrick. Thanks to David Cho, Brent Reber, Joe Fortunato, and thanks to you for listening to Jaguars Happy Hour.